Let's talk about how Portland, Oregon has become an outdoor latrine, a city street poopapalooza, a literal shithole, if you will.
That is one big pile of shit.
$316 is what it costs the taxpayer each and every time a crew is dispatched to clean up a human poop from the streets of Portland. A call to clean up poop has been happening as often as 450 times a week this year. A cleanup crew isn't dispatched to each call, and the city won't report what it spent overall on waste removal last year. Big shock. But a new report says that more than 3,300 gallons of human waste last year was picked up, not factoring in a $200 per incident dispatch fee and a $104 per hour cleanup fee rate. The overall cost for the cleanup of that 3,300 gallons of waste was $26,480 in 2018. Cleanup costs are factored into the city's $3.5 million a year homeless camp removal program. One policy that certainly isn't helping the situation is the Oregon Court of Appeals decision in the 2017 case State v. Corsilius, which ruled that the state laws against littering do not cover public urination. Alex Hamalian, a criminal defense attorney who works in the Portland area, told Pluralist that the Multnomah County Prosecutor Office may be wary of applying the law to cases of public defecation for fear of costly legal challenges based on the court's ruling. And even if the local government actually wanted to criminalize public shitting, the mayor and Portland Police Commissioner Ted Wheeler and Chief of Police Danielle Outlaw made a big stink, get it, in 2018 over the fact that 52% of the 911 calls to police that year were calls about homeless people, despite them making up only 3% of the local population. Ted Wheeler, the mayor, thinks that over 52% is much too high of a percentage for some reason he never seems willing or capable of explaining. So there's no way he'd ever be on board with broadening the criminality of an activity, shitting in the streets, which is almost solely being performed by homeless people. To quote Mayor Wheeler, "The real question here is there some sort of profiling or implicit bias?" Wheeler said. "From my perspective, that's the crux of the situation. The police should be focused on policing criminal activity, and that's sort of the beginning and middle and end of it for me." Unquote. Let's talk about some of the diseases spread by contact with untreated human shit, and also diseases commonly spread by rodents, whose populations rise starkly alongside homeless populations. Shigella bacteria, spread through feces and causes the diarrheal disease shigellosis, as well as Bartonella quintana, or trench fever, which spreads through body lice. Hepatitis A, also spread primarily through human shit, infected more than 1,000 people in Southern California in the past 2 years, primarily among people who are homeless or use drugs. Bubonic plague, spread by rats. The hantavirus, spread by mice. Fecal coliform bacteria, contamination of water supplies, which causes ear infections, dysentery, typhoid fever, viral and bacterial gastroenteritis. I'd prefer not to get an incurable or so old it's become rare to the point of being super expensive to treat disease, but more than that, I'd prefer the homeless themselves not suffer and die on the streets of these horrible pathogens. But let's say you don't give a shit about your fellow man. Let's assume instead you're a nature lover. Untreated organic matter that contains fecal coliform can be harmful to the environment. Aerobic decomposition of this material can reduce dissolved oxygen levels if discharged into rivers or waterways. This may reduce the oxygen level enough to kill fish and other aquatic life. In January of 2018, a study by Florida Atlantic University's Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute found that human wastewater from septic systems was a major contributor to the high nitrogen concentration in the St. Lucie estuary and downstream coastal reefs, which led to algal blooms wreaking havoc on this vital ecosystem. Cyanobacteria, otherwise known as blue-green algae, can produce toxins in their surrounding water that cause serious illness or death to animals and humans. It was blooming out of control in several rivers around Portland during the late summer of 2019, leading to numerous signs warning people. First, a Portland family's dog died after playing in the Willamette River at Sellwood Riverfront Park, which is my personal weekend hike spot with my dogs. The Oregon State Recreation Department posted numerous warnings to would-be late summer swimmers to keep their dogs away from the shoreline and pick up their pet's poop so as not to exacerbate the problem. Darrell Turner, the only sensible bureaucrat in Portland and president of the Police Association, said on July 16, 2018, quote, "Our city has become a cesspool. Livability that once made Portland a unique and vibrant city is now replaced with human feces in businesses' doorways, in our parks, and on our streets. Aggressive panhandlers block the sidewalks, storefronts, and landmarks like Pioneer Square, discouraging people from enjoying our city. Garbage-filled RVs and vehicles are strewn throughout our neighborhoods. Used needles, drug paraphernalia, and trash are common sights lining the streets and sidewalks of our downtown core area, under our bridges and freeways overpasses. That's not what our families, business owners, and tourists deserve." Mayor Wheeler's public policies have failed. Record tax revenues are being brought into this city, yet what do we have to show for it? I am incensed that once again, the mayor has thrown Portland police officers under the bus instead of saying what we all know to be true, that his proposed solutions to our homeless crisis have failed. What we need is for our city and county leaders to take responsibility for this crisis getting out of hand. They need to put forth actual solutions with actual results and stop throwing hard-earned taxpayer dollars down a black hole, unquote. But have no fear. Our brilliant Portland mayor, Ted Wheeler, has a plan for all of this unaccounted-for homeless trash and butt sludge. He proposed the funding for 6 new portable toilets and some small number of portable showers painted in fun local designs, like the Trailblazer colors or the same design as the Portland airport's carpet. You know, because we want to advertise that the chronic homeless shitting in the streets problem reflects what people can come to expect from our city. He calls this program Hygiene Street Response. So I did some quick math trying to figure out the actual amount of poop homeless people were likely leaving on the streets. The average American male's weight is 88.8 kilograms, or roughly 195.77 pounds. If we assume that the average person poops about 30 milliliters for every 5 kilograms of body weight each day, that would mean that the average person produces 532.8 milliliters of poop a day. That comes out to 0.14 gallons of human poop a day for every homeless person. In the year 2018, 3,300 gallons of human poop were removed from the city. 3,300 gallons divided by 365 days comes out to 9 gallons of human poop removed from the streets every day. 9 gallons divided by 0.14, the average human poop volume in a day, comes to 64. So that would mean that only 64 homeless people's poop is removed off the streets daily. And if you look at all of Multnomah County, the number of homeless people was about 4,437 in 2017. By the way, per the Oregonian newspaper, this number is very likely undercounting the true number of people who are homeless in the area, which could be as much as 3 times higher. So if we remove the 64 homeless people getting their poop currently cleaned up, that still leaves us with 4,373 unaccounted for daily homeless poopers in the area. That comes out to 172,000 gallons of human poop on the streets every year. Probably a good bit of it washing into the local rivers. And if you'd like to add in Vancouver, Washington's homeless population, which is Portland's sister city right across the Columbia River, that adds another 958 homeless people for all of Clark County, Washington. With the 6 new dedicated Portland homeless portopoddies, even if they were used perfectly efficiently and serviced once daily, that would be a total of only 16 dedicated public restrooms in the city of Portland. You got 4,400 unaccounted for homeless people pooping every day, divided by 16 restrooms that'll allow them to poop there, meaning that without any time for servicing, and if the low-balled homeless population of Portland were pooping perfectly on schedule, not clumping up around peak hours, they would only have 5 minutes and 12 seconds per bowel movement each day. The average portable toilet capacity is 40 gallons. If these porta-potties were being utilized perfectly efficiently, again, it's a bad assumption, but let's just say, you'd have to service them every, let's say 40, looks like every 25 hours, or basically once a day. The budget for the hygiene street response was $877,000 for the program during the 2020 fiscal year. At least $615,000 of that will go to bathroom attendants' salaries. This year's appropriation is not the first time the city has purchased bathrooms for homeless people. In 2016, the city paid $216,000 to buy a 2,400 square foot bungalow with bathrooms, showers, and a laundry facility for homeless people. But it was never put to use, and the city sold it at auction last year for $45,000, which is a $171,000 overall loss for the city. By the way, just so you know, the Wapato Detention Facility, a 155,000 square foot prison costing the taxpayers $58 million that was built in Portland in 2004, has never been used for anything. Not a single prisoner has ever served one single solitary day in this prison facility. It's just a big, secure compound that's been collecting dust for over a decade. Nobody wants to do anything with the land, and it could easily house every single homeless person more cost effectively than the spread out reactive homeless services they get now. I'm not one for big government boondoggles, but in my view, once you have the boondoggle bought and paid for, I say you might as well put it to use. Whatever your thoughts on how to fix this truly shitty mess, I think we can all agree that finding a real workable solution to this problem should rank slightly higher in our priorities because of the obvious cost in human life and suffering and the environment than the recently passed Portland City Ordinance that will fine restaurants $500 for accidentally putting a plastic fork or straw in one of their delivery or takeout meals. People are going to die. We're spending a lot of money on things that aren't working but make people feel good. This city does not have to look like shit. Do better.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Hi guys, Media Shadow here. I'm trying to grow the channel and hopefully get more than one video out a week. So if you like what you've seen, please give me a like, subscribe, share, or drop me some coin on Patreon. I've left a link in the description of the video. Thanks!